Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We're going to be using one of the most underwhelming EZAs we've probably had in Dokkan. Like, they could have done so much for this guy. And that is the EZA Fizz Super Vegito. Content's been a bit slow the last couple of days. I've been extremely busy. And also there's been this just whole stuff going on with the internet, or my internet. And we're finally good, so we're going to be on the grind with the videos, trying to play a little bit of catch up. And yeah, that's the first one we're going to be doing. So Vegito is rainbowed. He is also level 10 links. Super Boo is also level 10 links, but no dupes. We'll get to his video soon. But yeah, one of the most underwhelming EZAs we've probably ever gotten, and especially for like anniversary level as well. Like, good unit choice. EZA had so much potential and they just kind of fumbled. But we're going to be trying him right now. I don't have, of course, the 8th anniversary LRs, nor do I have Strength Carnival LR Goku. So no 200% lead, but the 200% lead isn't going to save this guy because he is still very much underwhelming. So we are starting on rotation with Fizz VB. I did also bring the LR one with us. Of course, we'll be getting an EZA in part 3. Can work quite well with him. And there's also a few other units that he can work well with, because he does actually have some kind of standard Super Saiyan links and Vegito links. You know, you're looking at Birdku, good slot 1 unit to go with him. Even though this guy does have 80% damage reduction, as I said, VB will be getting his EZA in part 3. There's also Gogeta Blue, EZA Gogeta Blue. And I'm actually talking about the AGL one. There's also going to be the LR Gogeta Blue, who will also get his EZA in part 3. There's a few units this guy can work pretty well with some standard links. But we also have the attack and defense plus 30% support from this Vegito, who I brought just to kind of give him a bit of a pick-me-up because he is so bad. But on turn 1, we are starting with 160k attack stat, 174k defense. Again, we do have 80% damage reduction, which obviously we're not going to see too much of here. But when we do start taking him into stuff like Red Zone, we're going to see that 80% damage reduction really come in. And even with the support, we're starting with a 1.8 million attack stat. In 2023, on an 8th anniversary EZA, we are starting with a 1.8 million attack stat. But at least he can pull out crit counters. It doesn't save him, but even though he's very underwhelming, at least he has 80% damage reduction and can pull out crit counters. So that's something, I guess. But on super attack, he will cause immense damage to an enemy and raise allies' attack and defense by 30%. I think one decent thing with him having solid defense and also having the 8% damage reduction. Of course, if he gets supered, different story. But as long as he doesn't get supered, if you want to really run the risk in Red Zone, like Shadow Dragon event now, you could. I mean, if you've really got the balls, you could put this guy in slot 1 and then utilize that support, that 30% attack and defense on super for the rest of the rotation. But that's if you want to risk it. And I said this in one of the videos. I think it was the video I did when it was talking about all the EZAs that are coming for the anniversary. Why they didn't give him anything on super attack, like for himself, his own buff, I'll never know. Like, they didn't even give him like raise attack by 30% for 1 turn. Not even both, but they didn't even give him like a 30% raise on super for like his attack, which is what he needs. Like, they didn't give him no self SA buff whatsoever, and I don't know why. But still, we move. As I said, he does have that 80% damage reduction counters, which is really nice. But again, if you get super attacked, he will get caught. Defense plus 150%. No starter turn attack, which especially with no super attack effect either. Like, you could have made this guy stack attack if you wasn't going to give him any start of a turn attack buff. You could have just let this guy stack, which would have been infinitely better than he actually already is. By the way, we actually lose links right now if we link him up with him. So we will leave it like this for the time being. But that's something else they didn't decide to do or didn't think it was worth doing. Then he does get some attack from his passive, which you do have to build up. 1.95 right now, not a big jump, but it does get attack plus 20% of each attack received, which of course is playing into that whole idea of that 8% damage reduction to counter, which goes up to 120, which isn't bad. So the fact there isn't no start of turn passive isn't the worst. But if there wasn't, you know, a super attack buff, whether that would be stack attack or 30% or 50% on attack on super, that would have been fine. But the fact that that attack you're building up in his passive isn't coupled with anything else is what really hurts this guy for any offensive output that he could have possibly had. If as I said, you coupled that 120 attack he can build up in his passive with an SA effect, whether that be a turn or stack, it would have worked quite well. If you would have given him start a turn attack with also the attack he's building up his passive, wouldn't have been too bad, wouldn't have been the greatest, but wouldn't have been too bad as it is now if there was no SA buff. But Dokkan was like, no, we're going to give him none of it. So that 120 attack he's getting as passive is literally like the raw amount of attack he is getting and the support he gets on the super. If you'd give him anything else, it would have put him in a much better position, but for some reason, they didn't. He also has a 30% chance for a critical hit, which is all right. I mean, but he needs the crit to come off for him to actually do any noteworthy amount of damage. So it only being a 30% chance, bit meh. I won't lie. I mean, he is an older unit, so you're more likely to have dupes in him. You know, he is a 2017, 2018 unit. But yeah, I can't lie, that crit isn't doing a whole lot for him just because naturally he doesn't do that much damage as it is. So, but again, you kind of need the crit for him to do any notable damage in the first place. So again, his offense just isn't really it. That's another counter. I don't know how many counters we've actually done. I think we've done 3 or 4. So we do need to do another 3 or 4 to get that full 120, which, as you can see by like the 2 million attacks that we're probably on right about now, isn't making that much of a difference. He then also gets Ki +1 up to 3, and then an additional defense plus 30% up to 90%, and 10% crit chance up to 30% chance every time the character receives an attack, which is very easy to do naturally just because, you know, enemies do attack in the game, not to mention as well, Red Zone Shadow Dragon event. There are enemies that are going to be attacking multiple times in one turn in each slot, and the fact he does have that 80% damage reduction and the counters, and possibly if crit counters with dupes, and also the counters, or sorry, the crits in his passive does allow for crit counters and things like that. So that is nice, but if this guy is to take a super attack, he will be taking some damage. So the fact that there is no SA buff where he raises attack and defense for the turn, or stacks attack and raises defense for the turn, or stacks defense, whatever it is, the fact there's no SA buff to like essentially buff the attack and defense up just like a bit, give a bit of a pick me up, really hurts this guy. Like, he's running on very basic, bare minimum stats, purely because it's all just coming from his passive. Like, it could work if they just gave him a bit more. And unfortunately, they didn't. They just didn't. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But we do need him to be hit 3 or 4 more times before he's fully built up. We are up to a 198k attack. I mean, to be fair, his attack. No, his attack is moving. We're up to 202k defense, though, which is not bad. Like, this will be over 200k defense with 80% damage reduction. Which means basics in the game, we're up to 2.2 million. Jesus. It's 2023, man. 2023, and he's only on 2.2 million. Yeah, there's 3-4 more attacks to come, but it's not enough. Cool, we're actually about to fully build him up if he doesn't crit counter at all, which I never thought I'd say this, I don't want you to do. So yeah, the Vegito should be round about fully built up right now, or maybe 1 more attack, which hopefully we can get when he appears. But yeah, no, like, even fully built up, he's going to be doing like, what? 3 mil? Like, a 200% lead is only going to help him out so much, like, it's only going to make so much of a difference, which is not going to be a lot. So even though I don't have the 8th anniversary LRs, it's not going to do much for him. But as I said, his main saving grace is the 80% damage reduction with, I mean, okay defense, which means every basic in the game from Red Zone to probably Shadow Dragon, this guy should be tanking it for double digits, while also countering it as well, which is really nice. And also, again, the potential of crit counter in it, which is nice. Get some extra damage off, chip down the enemy's health bar. But it's not like he's crit countering for like 2, 3, 4 million each time he counters, is it? But if this guy gets super attacked, he will get you killed. And again, a 200% lead is only going to make so much of a difference. So yeah, even on the 200% lead, this guy will get you killed. If he is super attacked with no item active, I think the majority of every difficult enemy in the game will kill him. Like, I'm not even joking. I think, like, he will survive. Actually, maybe not even Broly's first phase, because he would need to build up any other type disadvantage. If you got a super by Broly's first phase, you're either almost dead or dead. Like, if he gets caught by a super, yeah, 248k defense with damage reduction, great for basics. Any super attack this man takes with no super, he is getting you killed. 100% is getting you killed. Damn. Yeah, like, all I can say is this guy's EZA could have been so good. And they fumbled it so bad. And I don't know how they did it. Obviously, this isn't going to do much damage. I mean, for one, we do have a Whis active. And again, it's only the Vegito event. If this was red zone, we probably would have been dead round about now. I mean, he's definitely going to be built up after this. Yeah, these crit counters should be doing like at least 2-3 milli. Like, what's his actual like super attack output? 3 mil. This is fully built up. So with a 200% lead, this Vegito is only probably doing like close to 4 mil, 4 million. So that's after the attack and defense plus 30% for all allies on super as well, and he only goes up to 3.2. Yeah, no. He doesn't have enough attack. He doesn't have enough defense to contend with like any super attack in difficult content. And I mean, it's kind of a standard nowadays for the majority of units in the game to handle any difficult content enemies basics after they're fully built up or after they're super attacked. Maybe like a cooler core or eventually a Sin Shenron's basic might catch them a little bit with no item, but like not a lot. But that's his only saving grace, which is becoming like a bare minimum for units. Don't get me wrong, the support's nice. I said the damage reduction is nice. The fact he can counter is nice. But because he's got no attack and defense, like he's got no big numbers, his super attacker doing no damage, like he needed like a built-in additional for that 3 mil to even mean something. Like he needed to do at least 2-3 super attacks for that to really do any damage. And he's only got just over 200k defense. But don't just get me wrong, with 8% damage reduction is good. But that's from only normal attack. So any super attack, and this guy is done for. And this is an anniversary EZA. I think even if it wasn't an anniversary EZA, this is doo-doo. But the fact this came out during the 8th anniversary is wild, because this is not on the standard of anniversary EZAs. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. He is probably one of the most underwhelming, worst EZAs we've ever got, especially for such a character and unit like Super Vegito. But as I said, do let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next video, guys. And peace.